How are you doing, guys? Hack Single Figures here. Hope you're all well. Right, I'm down at the Ryan Rastel Performance Centre once again, as you can see. What am I here for today, I hear you ask? Could I have come for some new irons? Right, so I'm here with Ryan, who you'll recognise from lots of my videos. So I want to try some new irons, right? You've seen I came in, snuck in and tried the blades, which I absolutely loved. Okay. Now, I did love the feel of those, but I would worry about having a full set. Yep. For obvious reasons that they're not going to be that forgiving. Nope. So I want to try something that's kind of in between. I know you've mentioned the Forged Toe, sorry. Yeah. King Forged Toe. You know I love Cobra stuff. They're my favourite golf clubs, probably. These are my current irons are F7s. So yeah, I want to try some different stuff, some different shafts maybe, to try and get me hitting it a little bit more consistently. What I found with the blades was there was quite a big distance in some of the yardages in terms of carry distances. Yeah. If I didn't hit one well, it was, you know, there was a big difference. Yeah. Okay. So what do you reckon we do?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've got two here for us to try. So we've got Forged Toe, and then MB, which is the one you tried in your video. Now, you know, there's obviously differences between what those guys look like, but yeah, we'll try them both. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you know,
what are the differences, main differences then between these two? Just that the Forged Toe just has more forgiveness.
A little bit, yeah. It's sort of multi-material construction, so it sounds a little bit different because of the dampener that's behind the head. They're both forged, obviously, in most of their construction, really.
And that's good, better feel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Both of them have got tungsten in there, so trying to move centre of gravity a little bit in the head. Okay. Just most sort of better players tend to not. The bad strike is more a little bit of towards the toe, so that tungsten moving that way moves centre of gravity that way to sort of help with that. You know, they are, you know, a step up from what you have at the minute in terms of the difficulty they are to get the most out of. Head slightly smaller, you know, we go from what you've got there, you can see there's
massive,
a bit of a difference, and that's then a huge one then when we go to the MB. So yeah, I mean, we're going to see potentially some difference in the way that they perform. Yeah. These really should be a bit more precise in terms of, I find sometimes with sort of game improver irons like you've got there, you'll get a strike that might feel the same as the next one, and there might be 20 yards difference between the two.
Which is definitely what I found this season.
You shouldn't see that as much with these. They should be a bit more consistent, not only in the ball flight that we achieve, but also the distances should be. Okay. But the caveat to that is if you don't hit the middle of the club face, you're going to know about it with these. So you're going to feel it, and you're going to see that in the difference in the distance. Right. So we might see a big drop off if we don't hit one quite out the middle of the face. But let's give them a go, Kev. You never know, do you?
So Trackman 4.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get them on Trackman and see how they go.
Indeed.
Awesome. so we've tried the Cobra iron, so the King Forged, which was the blade that I really liked.
Yep.
And also what was the other one? Forge Tech.
It was King Forged. King MB Forged, basically. So yeah, one being slightly smaller. You know, the MB is it's a blade.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very small head.
Very shiny.
Low on forgiveness. Yeah, shiny, looks really nice in your bag, but is it going to perform for you? Is it going to do the job we want it to? Now, when I see a lot of people coming for fittings, they want the nicest looking golf club rather than the one that's actually going to help them play any better. Mm-hmm. And, you know, most of us are in that bracket, I would say. You know, if we go buy a car, we don't buy the one that's probably the most functional, we buy the one that looks the nicest, don't we? So, yeah, I mean, it tends to work a little bit like that, but if you want your golf game to improve, generally we want a set that's going to help you do that as well. So, yes, we've looked at those 3 irons on here. So, to start off with, if we look at your own, okay? So, we look at every shot that you've hit with your 7 iron.
Yep. So my Cobra F7. So would you say that that's a game improvement type iron?
Yeah, it's kind of very much middle of the road. Anyone from, you know, I've still got 4 handicappers that use that, but then it's certainly aimed more towards the mid to potentially higher handicapper as well, because it's so forgiving. You know, we can see there we've got averages at the bottom of carry and total distance, so 142 carry, 152 total. A little bit sort of widely spread in terms of dispersion and the ball flights as well. If we look at the top there, there's some low ones, some high ones. So it's okay. We know it's one that you've been playing with and gaming most of this season, so we know it's a club that you're used to. When we looked at the slightly less forgiving King Forged, we can see straight away how much the ball flights tighten up in terms of that kind of rainbow at the top there is, you know, when we look back at yours, more spread out towards that, much tighter, aren't they? So, and we're basically getting the same numbers in terms of carrying distance. We're a yard longer in both, which is negligible, really. Maybe not getting as many going left as we were with yours. Now, potentially that's to do with the offset being a little bit less on the sort of forged models and you know, the MB even less so when we look at that. So that can stop that left shot a little bit. It's negligible, really, the effect it has, but it is a slight effect, and then we look at MB, again, quite nicely bunched in terms of dispersion, where they're landing pretty good, and not identical results, really. So we're not seeing any real performance benefit other than we're hitting it straighter, which is obviously a massive one with irons. So we're not getting any more distance, which is what people are always looking at. We're not... you know, we're not hitting those ones that all of a sudden you'll hit one that goes 170 and then the next one goes 130, which you can get a little bit with your more forgiving iron. Forged ones like this, like King Forged and King MB, you're going to get the same results more often. However, we've noticed that on the ones where you don't strike it quite so well, there is a huge drop off in distance. So
there is.
If we strike one a bit heely or a bit toey, we're losing 10 to 15 yards, whereas with yours, we're losing 5 to 6 yards, so it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, one or the other. Do you want the really lovely, shiny looking one that doesn't let you get away with anything, or do you want the slightly, not ugly, but slightly bigger package that is going to hit it the same, hit it well even when you don't, kind of thing? It's one of those. Like you said during the fitting, there's more feedback, isn't there, from these forged
That's the big
irons,
thing for me. Like I can tell when I've hit one left. I can feel that it's a left strike, but I can't really feel that with mine as much.
I mean, certainly, you know, back to the original question of, are you good enough to hit clubs like this? Absolutely, because when we've done testing on your ball striking, you know, we've looked at where it's actually hit the club face. When we were doing the lie test. And you know, they're pretty central strikes, aren't they? You know, we've done 5-6 shots there where we've actually marked it on the tape, and all of them are in the middle of the face. So that would be my first question, or first observation when someone's coming for a fitting is, can you hit the middle of the club face? Because if you've got one in the high toe, one in low heel, then low toe, do not use blades because you're not going to get anything out of it. They're going to make you worse.
Yeah.
Whereas something like the current iron that you have, or anything that's game improver orientated, is obviously going to help you when you don't strike the middle of the face. Like I say, we're not seeing any performance really decrease by using something that is, perceived more bladed, smaller headed, forged, weaker lofted as well than what you're using, and we're not seeing that reflected in the numbers here as well, which is good. Generally, the game improver ones, because the weight's so low down in the head, they have to crank the loft stronger to make it so that it doesn't just balloon on you. So everyone thinks that companies are just making them stronger to make them go further, and to some extent they are, but also it's to counteract the fact that they're trying to get the weight as low in the head as they can, because most people can't get the ball in it. So it's trying to help that as well. Okay. So there is a technological reason for it, rather than just hitting it further.
Which is what everyone thinks, isn't it? Everyone thinks that they're just trying to make us feel better about our game.
And like I say, to some extent they are. Yeah. But I think now there's a huge premium on how straight you hit it as well. We've got to hit greens. There's no point you going out there with we've hit 7-iron here. There's no point you hitting your current set and all of a sudden one goes 165 and then the one after that you think you've hit it the same, whereas you probably haven't, but it goes 20 yards less than that. Whereas with an MB or the King Forged, you're going to know if you've hit it well or not, aren't you? So
yeah, you can feel it straight away,
Yeah, I mean,
I hit a couple of bad ones and I could tell immediately.
It's one of those cold days when you get it in the fingers.
It's a bone shaker.
Yeah, so I mean, it's negligible, the difference between the two. Yes, the MB looks nicer. I think you might have problems if we were getting into longer irons, 5 and 4.
Definitely.
Looking down on something like that might not be to your liking. Whereas, what you currently have is, a lot more attractive to trying to get the ball up in the air, isn't it? But we can see how sporadic the ball flights are, And this is a club you've been using all season, so if we can tighten that up even 5 yards, if we can hit one more green or 2 more greens around, straight away your scores are better, aren't they?
Yeah.
As long as you're not the worst putter in the world. So
putting's all right.
No, exactly. So it should be fine. But yeah, we're seeing with those that they're just more tightly dispersed and a bit more predictable in terms of the distances they're going. Which, looking at a blade, that is what you'd expect, isn't it? It's a more precise tool for the job, isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess the King Forged really is. It's a good kind of halfway house, isn't it? Really. Yeah. You've got a bit of best of both worlds.
There is a potential there that maybe a combo set might work. So you might go MB wedge 9/8, 7 up in King Forged. I've done that myself in my set, just purely because I struggled with the distance control of the shorter clubs, and you might find that yourself. But I think really King Forged is very, very good, and I think with they are quite nice compact head as well. And I mean they kind of
it's a lovely golf club. I mean, I remember hitting them a while ago and thinking that's a great golf club. Yeah. So in terms of shaft, similar to what I've got. Just
very similar. It's 10 grams heavier, but it's a KBS. Yeah. The new FLT one that's in there. So that's the one that we've tried, and that's the one that you've hit quite nicely. I think the last couple of sets you've had have been KBS. So they seem to just hit those better. We tried Dynamic Gold S300 as well, the AMT, which didn't really work quite so well. We lost a little bit of distance with that, and a little bit of the dispersion wasn't quite as good as well. So that AMT shaft wasn't for you, but the KBS one has worked really, really nicely. So we just go with that again. In testing the lie, we've actually gone standard, which is a little bit flatter than what we did last time. It was, I think, 1 or 2 degrees?
2 degrees, I think.
2 degrees upright, okay. So we've gone a little bit flatter in lie than that. Again, that can have a bit of an effect on obviously the direction too, so that might have just tightened up the dispersion, as well as things like offset that we've spoken about before. Yeah. But I mean, there's nothing to split them. I would say the only thing that would make me choose King Forged is longer clubs. Are going to be scary.
Definitely. I think the MB in a 5-iron, I think would scare the hell out of me on a golf course, especially if you're in a semi-rough or something. You don't want to be trying to hit that, do you?
No. And we're here to enjoy it,
as well as
play well. So yeah, it's King Forged.
Okay, we'll have some of those then, please. I better ring the wife.
You had, yeah.
So there we go, iron fitting done. So what did we go for in the end? So we went for the Forged Toe.
King Forged
not
Toe.
Forged
Yes,
Tech.
indeed.
A King Forged Toe.
Yep.
KBS.
Yep.
120 gram regular shaft.
Tell you what, he's getting good at this, isn't he?
I know what I'm doing. I know what clubs I've got. So that's what we'll go for. So they'll get made, and then I'll get some new
3-4 working
clubs.
Days generally.
Brilliant.
So, yeah,
more golf clubs I need to hide from my wife. So yeah, no, it's amazing, mate. So thank you
good
very
job
much.
she doesn't follow you on social media, is it?
She hates golf. She hates golf, so it's brilliant because she has no idea. So yeah, there you go, guys. We're fitting again here with Ryan. He's done. As always, if you want to ask Ryan any questions, I'll put all his details in the description below. Any questions about golf clubs, custom fitting, or lessons, or tips, drop Ryan an email or a message on social media, and I'm sure he'll be nice to you and answer it.
Definitely.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, hit like as always, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, click the button below, subscribe, and follow me on this journey to single figures. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll chat to you soon.